there. Today I'm going to talk about Madam Web and what the hell is this? Madam Web is part of the extended Spider-Verse of live-action films that were made that are from villains or allies of Spider-Man. They can't use Spider-Man. Spider-Man's tied with Marvel, but they can use... So there's a deal with Marvel to produce Spider-Man films for them. But they do have rights to other characters that are... So it becomes an association with Marvel, which means it's basically Sony producing them themselves. So you've had the Venom series, which did well financially. I have a lot of fun with the Venom movies. They're ridiculously weird and odd, and they're not for everybody. Some people hate them, I get it. And some people love them, and I'm one of them because they're so weird, just strange and weird. Tom Hardy's doing something really odd with Venom. So it's like, well, it's his own thing, and it's fine. But they also did Morbius, which was one of those films. Like Venom, people understood Venom's a popular character. You could get people interested in Venom. Morbius now, Madam Web, are characters known outside of the Marvel universe, like comic book fan, have heard of. Like, Morbius I'd heard of vaguely. Madam Web I'd probably seen a cartoon at some point and thought, okay. And that was it. And I had no desire to ever see a film with Madam Web, like, ever. Not anyone else did either. And that's the thing is, when you start making films with characters no one cares about, no matter how much you put into it, unless you have someone who's got a specific take on it that's interesting and odd, that can actually find a way to connect with an audience and say, this is why this is interesting. Instead of, here's the character, we're making a film and then we have to figure it out. That becomes a problem. And because you need to find the person who can find that oddity. In the case of Venom, it was a case of, it's a popular character, and Tom Hardy, as a lead actor and a producer, found the odd thing in that character that he can make work. And it can connect with the audience. Because he's a loser and everything goes wrong for him, and it just works. I mean, Venom is more popular than half the MCU characters that are in the main MCU. he's more distinctive as a character than Captain Marvel or, you know, the new Black Panther or any of those characters. He's distinctive as a character. The trouble with Morbius and now Madam Web is they're basically still vague characters. It's like, well, I don't know, I don't get them. They exist. Now, Morbius was such a weird film that it was actually kind of enjoyable, even though the lead character's still a bit of a blank. When Jared Leto played him, and Leto is an actor who can hit or miss, but one of the big problems as an actor he has is unless a film is well written and it's got specific lines that have been crafted, he tends to come across as a bland personality. He needs the writer and director to bring a personality that he can inhabit. So a lot of times he gets in any parts and it's like, it's a part that needs to be filled in, and he's not good at filling in parts. The part has to be there or he's going to be bland. And this Morbius part wasn't there. Especially bad for him was he was playing against Matt Smith, who could take a bit part, like the villain in Morbius, and just go crazy with it and show off, okay, he's having the lead, because he's having way more fun, and he understands this is a dumb film, and he's going to go to the moon with it. So it's two different actors you saw, it's like two different approaches, and one was far more successful. And the film Morbius, though, was such a weird, odd film. It wasn't odd successfully like Venom. It was odd in a weird way, but it was still kind of enjoyable because it's such a train wreck. Madam Web is bland. That's the big thing, and it doesn't have anyone in the film who is trying to elevate it, because you kind of get the feeling watching this film, the same things you get as feeling in the Marvels is people understood while they're filming this that this was a train wreck, and there's nothing they can do about it. They want a train wreck and bad dialogue, and the characters that don't really have much oomph to them, and there are a lot of meandering scenes that have no energy to them and no forward momentum to them. But this is like, it's strange. It was so wrong in so many areas. It was kind of enjoyable for how trashy and failed it was, because it was a failure in almost every area, but especially the writing and directing. I mean, none of the actors showed themselves off brilliantly in this film. The best one was Adam Scott as the Peter Parker's uncle Ben, as a younger man. Even though Adam Scott's probably not that much younger than the character would be when he's about to die. And of course, he's a good actor. And he didn't have to carry any scenes of any dialogue or exposition. He just had to go, I don't get this, and stuff like that. And it worked, because he could just be himself. Everyone else had to deliver ridiculous dialogue constantly and try and look as if they were a human being, and they all failed. But it's not really their fault. It's like, you didn't give them anything to say that's worth a damn. I mean, Madam Web herself, played by Dakota Johnson, who I've seen her been good in other things, and she's not terrible here either. It's just that she's given a character that's both nihilistic and very passive. So you don't have the energy of the nihilism of the world sucks, it's terrible, I'm duking out from it, I'm keeping away from it. No, it's just like, the world's terrible. I work as an ambulance person, so I'm kind of passive about the whole thing, and it's just like, it's very de-energized. And it's like, well, there's not much an actress can really do with that. It's like, you've given her very little to do, very little energy and dialogue. It's just like, the world sucks, I just want to hide from the world. Oh god, I've got to do something. Oh god. Oh god, well, what do I do now? Oh, I'm have to help these people. Oh god. And she's trying her best to give some energy to it, but the character has started out from such a low place and very indistinctive place, and it has to deal with all the worst scenes in the film. It's like, well, she doesn't have lines that are distinctive that actually can help her create a character that works. She's just been given all these exposition scenes and all these weird scenes where it's like she can see the future, so she's variations of what could happen. But it's not done with the sense of fun that you'd get in like Edge of Tomorrow. This is just done in a very basic way. It's they're trying to be Brian De Palma, but they don't have the style to be Brian De Palma. Because it's a film that takes a long time to get to place, which also saps the energy out of the actors. It's like, every scene is like double the time it needs to get that information across in the scene. And so there's no energy to the action. It's just like, you see the actors trying, but the scene's directed with so little energy that, and the dialogue's so terrible, it sucks the life out of them, no matter what they try and do. And they're trying to do these Brian De Palma shots, but they can't really do them because they're not De Palma, and don't know how to cut the scenes together to make it interesting. And they don't know how to lead the eye in the right area to switch between different angles to create a evolving sense of absurd and silliness and fear. It's just this bland version of it, which doesn't work. And, I mean, the worst part of the film is direction. Direction just not much energy. It's one of those things, is like, why didn't some editor just not come in and just cut? Like, lose like 20 minutes of this film, like, straight away, just to energise it up, to give it some pacing. Because it really needed that. It really needed the pacing. It would have helped the actors a lot to have some pacing there. But it just doesn't have it. So, it's a film that takes forever to get to the point. I mean, I think it was 50 minutes in before the first real 40-50 minutes in before anything really happens, like the first attack by the villain. The rest of the film before that is just setting stuff up, and it's so absurd. I mean, there's a whole section in the beginning, it's set in Amazon, that has so much bad dialogue. It's like you feel pity for the actors to say it because it's so terrible and it's so expositional. It's things no one would say in real life at all, and there's no attempt to add humour to it, and there's no atmosphere to it. It just feels that you're on a set somewhere, and it's absurd. It's explaining things that are absolutely absurd, so you can't take it seriously, and then explain it to try and make it feel you have to take it seriously, and it just makes it feel worse and more and duller. Just having images and explain images later on would have worked better. Of having this flashback later on would have worked better, but so that kills the momentum before we even get to the main character, and then the lead character's life is just this boring morass where she's slowly things happen to her and she has visions, but it's not done with any oomph to it, like directing wise or writing wise. The dialogue is very mundane and low energy, and actors are doing their best with the camera with it, but there's nothing there, and every character is a cliche. So you get the three girls she's trying to protect. It's a bit of a mess because you've got decent actresses in there having absolutely nothing to do. Sylvia Sweeney, who's been good in other stuff, she's actually jumped up and been thought of as a really good actress, gets the worst one. She's the worst person in the film. She has to play this geeky character, and it's obvious that she's been told to play it in the most cliche way. It's been written in the most cliche way possible. She's asked to play it in a very kind of slightly over the top way, and she does not look comfortable at all. She just looks like she wants to be shot in the head and get me out of here. That's the vibes you get from her performance. It's like someone who's not comfortable with the direction. And Isabella Merced is the kind of plays a more logical one. She was the lead in Dora, and she was in Sicario too. She's a good actress, and she's the one that kind of keeps some momentum up with these scenes because she keeps it straight to the point. You know, it's almost like she knows she doesn't have, her character doesn't have any personality. She'll just keep professional, just keep to the point as much as possible, and try and get through this damn thing. Which works better than the other actresses here. The other actress, she's got the kind of loudmouth one, but she's nothing interesting to say. And she's got a skateboard, and it's like, skateboard, really. So, it's a mess. It's a complete mess with these characters. The villain is a kind of proto-Spider-Man because this takes place in 2003, and this is before Peter Parker's born, and it's just, he's just this villain who is trying to kill these girls, and he can't even do that. And you're like, okay, that's what you're about, killing these girls who can beat you, even without superpowers. Yeah, that's a really intimidating villain. I'm really scared about this, about your prospects of killing these girls. So it's like the Terminator, right? Of the Terminator was really bad at his job and couldn't do anything right. This is basically Terminator, but done really badly. And so there's never any threat. So by the time you get to the big action scenes at the end, it's almost like, are your lead characters fighting their own incompetence to survive? Because they're sure as hell not scared of this guy, this loser. And you've all these camera moves that are all over the place that don't add to any suspense whatsoever. And you've got a fight scene at the end in this fireworks factory. It's also a Pepsi factory and who knows what. And it's like the scene from every it's tried 2000s superhero films, but God, it feels much more like a bloody Marvel and they doing a TV movie Hulk TV movies era for just incompetence and lack of enthusiasm. It's just bad, and the costumes are very much Marvel Hulk TV movie era. Especially the Madam Web costume at the end, where she's got the shades when she's lost her sight, so she's Madam Web, and it looks terrible. So there, this is a catastrophe. Nothing works, but it's strangely enjoyable for how incompetent it is. It's this thing, you don't see a film that's incompetent very often. And you don't see a film that's obviously torturing their own actors by making them say things that they really don't want to say. Mainly, the enjoyment of the film is watching the actors try and struggle through these scenes, because you can tell they are not having any fun. They're just like, shoot me now. So the script is like, should have been dumped. The director, I've no idea how she survived the first week of filming with some of the footage we're sending back, because there's like none of the performances work, none of the action works, none of this makes any sense. This is terrible, and they kept on filming. It was, oh, it's awful, but gleefully enjoyable. I'm so looking forward to the next one, which is the Craven the Hunter with Aaron Taylor Johnson, which has a good director doing it, but he'll probably be neutered by the studio. And then we've got Venom 3. So we have 2 more to go before this series finishes, or series of films finishes at least. And I'm looking forward to seeing anything get worse than this, because this is bad. This is really bad. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video. That's me for now. Bye bye.